What's up, friends? How are you guys doing? It is December 31st, 2022, and we are about, we are about 5.5 hours away from the start of another 365 days of a year. We are going to bounce into 2023 focused and ready to align with our goals and our aspirations. Now, I've got to be honest. If I think about 2022 and reflect on just, what has happened in my life, I was getting a little bummed around my podcast. I felt like I was struggling a little bit. But after just doing just a few weeks of the 1 minute rounds of positivity and getting all of the feedback from you guys, I decided to relaunch Heal You with a brand new attitude and aspect, with a little bit of what I've always done, as well as talking about new topics and expanding on those 1 minute sessions. And I also have it on YouTube now. So you not only hear my voice, but you can see my face as well. So how awesome is that? So why don't we get started with why we're here today? It's all about reflecting. It is December 31st, right? And this is the time of the year where everyone kind of talks about what they're taking with them into the next year and what they're leaving behind. Many people call them resolutions. I like to think of all of it as reflecting. How can I reflect on this previous year and really kind of talk through or work on what are the 5 things that come to mind for me? So if you listened to my Cup of Positivity earlier this week, you know that I challenged people to kind of think back over the last 12 months and write down the first 5 things that came to mind. It didn't matter what it was. It could be one word, a sentence, a feeling, an emotion, whatever it is. Write it out so we can take that and then expand on what that means. And your girl did her homework too. I did mine. So, here it is. I got my little 5 things there, some notes for myself here, but here are my 5 words that came to mind: love, budgeting, fitness, strength, and being intentional. All right, so we're there. So those are my 5 things. Those are the things I'm going to talk about over the next couple of minutes with you guys. So, reflection, how do you define reflection? Something you think about, something that, to me is on your mind, you think through it and you identify where there are opportunities, it brings about a smile or a frown or some type of thought. But it requires you to think a little bit about whatever it is that's coming to mind. So, and what is the purpose of me doing these reflections? So, I believe in the law of attraction. I also believe in learning from your own areas of opportunity, as well as, reflecting and looking back and identifying where, you just rocked your shit out. Because let's keep it real. There are so many demands being placed on us. There are so many people to do things that sometimes, just sometimes, we don't really stop, smell the roses, and celebrate the things that we do good on a regular basis. It's easy to focus on kind of the things that are challenging. But when we really think about what are we doing great, when you reflect a little bit, you're able to write those things out and it makes you feel good. All right. And understanding that life, with everything else, all of the demands and things that are being asked of us, we have to sometimes be a little understanding of ourselves when we don't really hit the mark. we were never created to be perfect beings. And because we were never created to be perfect beings, we need to be understanding of ourselves when there's just an opportunity to either try it and do it over again or just give up on it because it wasn't meant to be. So that's how I think about reflection. And I did the same thing in 2021. And you'll find that my 2021 reflection is a lot like my 2022 reflection. Shit, if you think about it, for the last 5 years, I've been doing the same thing. And that's focusing on me. And I say 5 years because it was 5 years ago that I decided to really focus on what do I need to do to be better. I dipped into it a little bit and did some things for a lot of years, but really digging deep down and kind of working on me. The good, the bad, the ugly, the embarrassing parts of who I am. And for the last 3 years or so, your girl has really been focusing a lot. So 5 words that came to mind for me. The first one was love. Those 4 letters, LOVE, can have a different definition depending on the person, the process, the situation, what you're going through in life, where you want to see yourself. Those 4 letters, LOVE, can mean so much to so many people. However, if I think about why love came to mind for me this year, and just reflecting on last year and the years before, do you know that this is the first year that I can say I love who I am and I'm comfortable with where I am and the decisions that I've made in life? I'm about to be 50 years old, y'all. And love was the first thing that popped up in my mind because I am just naturally happy these days. I am at peace with where I am in life. I am totally happy with some of the decisions that I've made in life. And for that, I love myself. But what's really awesome about all of this is because I've learned to love myself like I do, I have become so much more patient with the others. I've also been able to state in very clear words what I expect from others when it comes to love. I'm able to define without being extremely emotional and upset what I'm willing to tolerate and what I'm not willing to tolerate. I know how to draw the line in the sand now and be okay with the decisions that I make. I can really say today that I love love. And I know I still have a ton more to go through in life. However, when I reflect on 2022, love stands out because it exudes in my eyes. You can see it in my smile. You know it in my laughter. You feel it when I love you now. That alone is so awesome. And I am so appreciative of the ability and that is just letting go. Don't expect more than what I have control over. Being okay when the things that I expect to happen don't happen. And just love. Learning how to love unconditionally. Beginning with myself. I love me some me. All of who I am. The things that I'm working on. How I learned to deal with things. How I've learned how to be quiet. To not have to answer to everything. I love love for me. reflection. So that was number one, and that's a pretty powerful one for me. Love is, I feel, the key to me just being a better person. And I am so thankful that throughout this year that my love felt better than it did hurt. Because love has hurt. They say it shouldn't, but for me, I've felt many, many years of painful love. And I'm glad that I'm moving past that. And I understand kind of where I am in life. So that is awesome for me. Second word came to mind, might be on a lot of you guys' list, is budgeting. Woo! There is a great feeling about just being in a space in life where you're figuring out how to balance all of the demands that are coming in life. There was a time that I struggled. I wasn't even living paycheck to paycheck. I could barely get things done, and I was living beyond my means. And I've learned how to just be better with my money and what my goals are, and saving and balancing myself out and not overdoing it and focusing on my credit. So this year I focused on my credit a lot, and my goal was to get your girl over in the high 700s, and I made it. I'm thankful. I just focused a little bit. I focused a lot. I don't know what I did to do it, but just I called it out there as I want to be better with my money. I want to be well-rounded. I want to be more balanced. I don't want to overdo things. I don't want to live beyond my means. And I'm a lot better than I've ever been in life. All right. It's two things. Two. We got 3 more to go. So here we go. The third thing was fitness. If you follow me, you know that I've really been working on my fitness a lot for almost 3 years now. But this year, I had to push past the norm. So yes, I work out on a regular basis. I try to challenge myself and push myself to be better in everything. I'll show down here in the little corner a little before and after pic of me, you know, maybe a little bit of me at my worst versus me at where I am now. But I've come a long way with my fitness. But what I love this year is, you know, for those of you who don't know, I have an autoimmune illness that was still causing me a ton of pain. So even though I was working out a lot, trying to eat better, doing all this stuff, the amount of pain that I was feeling in my lower back, my hips, and my knees was just unbearable. To the point that I was at the point where I'm like, I don't even want to work out anymore because it hurts. Hurts too bad. And I made some really big strides. And if you want to know a lot about what I've done, you got to go follow me on Instagram and Facebook. Creatively Shy. I did a lot to kind of focus on my wellness. Started seeing a chiropractor and learning a lot about how to balance and be better and heal inside out. Heal from the inside out. So I started a journey where I'm healing my gut from the inside out, because your gut can be one of the number one reasons why there's a lot of inflammation and autoimmune disorders that's going around. And by doing so, yo girl, see, I'm smiling. I feel good. The back pain is gone. The hip pain is gone. My knees are more stable. Still working on those meg knees, but they're more stable. But I feel good. So that stood out to me because along with fitness, I've gotten stronger. So strength was the fourth word that stood out for me. Strength means a lot. I'm mentally stronger. I'm mentally okay with things that are happening around me. I'm mentally okay and at peace with being at home on New Year's Eve, just rocking it out, being to myself. I'm mentally okay if I've made a decision and it backfires on me. I'm stronger because I'm mentally okay. I am stronger today than I have ever been in life. My days of going down the road of assumption is far less than it's ever been. I take the truth for what it is. I take the truth for what I see. I take the truth for owning my part in the process. I take the truth for being stronger at standing up and saying what I will and won't deal with. I am stronger today than I've ever been. Strength is helping me to overcome many areas where anxiety has plagued me for years. Strength and being mindful of who I am, what I do, and what needs to happen is allowing me to be able to stand up and do something different in life. I'm stronger today, and I'm so thankful for that. And then the final thought that came to my mind was being intentional. Woo! Being intentional with everything, being intentional with your words, how you shape your words, how you respond to people, how you share your thoughts, how you exude love, how you just be. Just being intentional and deliberate with my actions has allowed me the ability to see where I can and can't go in life. Being intentional with apologies and calling myself on my own shit when I've done something wrong. Being intentional with accepting the fact that I need to remove myself from certain friendships or relationships, whether it's for a short period of time or a long period of time, or there isn't a friendship again. I have to be intentional with it because it takes me back to the top of my list, and that's love. I've got to love myself. I've got to rock shy out in order to be able to exude all of those feelings and care for others. I've had to learn that by just being intentional. And that's reflection, you guys. That's 5 things: love, budgeting, fitness, strength, being intentional. Those are the 5 things that stood out in my mind when I think of 2022. Now, what do I say to you, my friends? I say, don't be hard on yourself. That each year, there's always something that happens in life that we're like, where the fuck did that come from? And to know that even when we hit those forks in the road, per se, we have already been equipped with what is needed to get us through it. Whether we have to go down that path of just that pain and hurt and getting through the unknown, only to steer ourselves back to where we want to be. I would love to tell you that, people have lives that they don't deal with anything that's heartbreaking. But is that really true? We all know we deal with things that are heartbreaking, that things happen that's exhausting and hard to deal with. When I reflect, I know there are opportunities for me to improve. I can let the wall down even more when it comes to love. I'm getting there. I'm not perfect. I've done a lot, but I know I can let the wall down when it comes to love. I know that I don't have to splurge on some of the things that I buy on a regular basis. I know that I can be more focused on some things that I do from a fitness perspective. If I go down that whole list, I can rattle off a ton of things that I can do better. But sometimes reflection is just about just sitting there and knowing that you've done your best. That if you can identify things that you're proud of, that gives you the stepping stone to identify how to be better. That's why placing me first has been part of my reflections every year. because I can continue to work and evolve and be a better and well-rounded person, and I'm okay with that. And with that, I got a ton of other stuff that I could talk about that just aligned with things and happen as I continue to work on me. I just want you to reflect on that. Reflect on just how awesome you are and how you've been able to rock shit out even when there's turmoil and challenges. Once you do that, you walk into the next year and everything's going to be okay. It's a bunch of myths. I don't need to follow those. Here's what I know in my heart. That in 2022, I embraced it all. That I got through a lot. That there were some barriers and roadblocks that sometimes got in my way. But more than anything, I'm proud to be at this point where I'm on the countdown with you guys. Ready to ring in 2023. Ready for all that it brings forward in life. Ready to just embrace it and learn how to be a better version of myself today, tomorrow, and always. You know, that's a pretty big cup of positivity I just put on you over the last 20 minutes or so. I want you to think hard about being better, being more positive, and being focused on you. All right, let's get ready to bring in the new year, and I will see you guys as we rock 2023 together.
Don't forget, you are the best gift you can give yourself. Give yourself a moment to love you.